Let's get you the latest India COVID numbers. Cases in the last 24 hours have risen. They have risen to 2,22,315. Cases are down compared to the previous 24 hours by 7.7%. Deaths in the last 24 hours are up 16%. India has recorded 4,454 deaths in this time period. Testing in the last 24 hours is down by 9.2%. There have been 19.2 lakh tests in 24 hours. Positivity rate is up nearly 1% at the moment at 11.5%. Vaccinations, that's the big worry, in the last 24 hours have dipped again, down by 14%. Only 9.4 lakh Indians were vaccinated in the last 24 hours. However, India has crossed the grim milestone of 3 lakh deaths. Here's the worrying story. Almost 1 in 3 deaths were reported in May 2021 alone. In the last 2 weeks, deaths have risen 13%. They are rising very rapidly in 20 states and union territories. In 9 of these 20 states, including Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Assam, deaths have risen by over 100%. In 11 other states, the increase in deaths has been between 25% to 100%. However, in the worst hit state of Maharashtra, it is 15%, while in Delhi and Uttar Pradesh, the number of deaths is now contracting. Well, the big cause of concern continues to remain India's COVID-19 vaccination, now down, remember, by 14% in the last 24 hours. Now, 57% less vaccinations than the daily production. Arvind Gunasekar joins us for the very latest. Arvind, the daily doses produced, according to the government submission in the Kerala High Court, is over 28 lakhs. Yet, according to the government data, the daily average jabs given is between 12 to 13 lakhs. What explains this?
Yeah, Rishika, responding to a query from the Kerala High Court on its vaccination policy and also the time period for the vaccination of the population in state of Kerala, the centre has submitted a detailed affidavit before the Kerala High Court where the centre has said that there is no fixed target for the dispensation of vaccines to the states and union territories. More importantly, the centre in its affidavit has also detailed about the domestic production capacity of the vaccines. According to the centre in its affidavit, the centre has said that the Serum Institute has a capacity of producing somewhere around 6.5 crore COVID vaccine doses per month, whereas the Bharat Biotech Covaxin has a production capacity of somewhere around 2 crore doses per month. So if you could add it comes to somewhere around 8.5 crore doses per month, which also translate to somewhere around 28.33 lakh doses per day. That is, our production capacity is somewhere around 28 to 29 lakh doses per day. But what we are seeing on the ground is very disappointing, because somewhere hardly between 13 to 14 lakh vaccinations are being done per day. And if you could check the last 1 week average, it's somewhere around 15 lakh. So it's less than the 50% of the production capacity. So that's where a very important question has risen, whether are we using the production capacity in the domestic area to the fullest, because the production capacity is somewhere around 28.33 lakh doses, but whereas we are vaccinating only to the 15 lakh doses, less than 15 lakh vaccinations per day. So here is a story on the status of the global tenders floated by the state governments for the procurement of vaccines.
On the 1st of May, the centre said state governments should go ahead and import COVID vaccines separately. Since then, states and union territories like Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Delhi and even Mumbai in Maharashtra have put up tenders for over 155 million doses. But this has largely been a non-starter. For one, states like Punjab and Delhi have been rejected by Moderna and Pfizer, who have reportedly told the governments they'll deal with the centre.
हमारी फाइजर से बात हुई, फाइजर वाले कहते हैं जी आपको नहीं देंगे, हम केंद्र सरकार से बात करेंगे. हमारी मॉडर्ना से बात हुई, मॉडर्ना वाले कहते हैं जी हम आपको नहीं देंगे, हम केंद्र सरकार से बात करेंगे.
चाहे फाइजर हो, मॉडर्ना हो, हम उन सबके साथ सेंट्रल लेवल से कोऑर्डिनेट करते हुए उनको 2 तरीके से फैसिलिटेट कर रहे हैं. एक तो उनके रेगुलेटरी फैसिलिटेशन इन टर्म्स ऑफ अप्रूवल्स, दूसरा प्रोक्योरमेंट रिलेटेड फैसिलिटेशन. और बोथ फाइजर एंड मॉडर्ना, most of the time their orders books is already full. So it is depending on their surplus how much they can provide to India. they will come back to Government of India and will ensure and facilitate.
Several other states, including Assam and other governed by the BJP or BJP allies, are reluctant to do so.
I don't think these global tenders all are, I don't know whether it has any value beyond publicity, because when Government of India is not getting vaccine, where from other company will give you in global tender? I don't think that I am basically observing the situation. Other states are floating.
आप ग्लोबल टेंडर के बारे में थोड़ा और जानकारी ले लीजिए कि यदि किसी ने प्रयास किया है तो क्या परिणाम आए।
यानी कि आपको लगता है इसका कोई फायदा है?
मैं ये नहीं कर रहा, मैं कह रहा हूँ आप पता कीजिए यदि किसी ने प्रयास किया तो उसके परिणाम क्या हैं।
Of the over 155 million doses sought, Mumbai has made some headway, with Sputnik suppliers putting in 3 bids for 10 million doses. However, states like Uttar Pradesh, which wants to import 40 million doses, has had to extend the deadline.
Uttar Pradesh, which floated the global tender first on the 4th of May, has now been forced to revise the timings for the opening of the technical bids of the tender by 10 days to the 31st of May. The state has also revised tender conditions like the storage and transportation of the vaccines in a bid, sources say, to attract companies like Pfizer and Moderna.
Another badly hit state, Karnataka's deadline ends today.
Today is the last day for the global tender. Let us see what is the response. Depending on the response, we just reached out to the entire world.
While the government has set a target of vaccinating the adult population by the end of 2021, the current rate of vaccination shows the target can be achieved only by the end of 2023. With Maya Sharma, Alok Pandey, Manish Kumar, Ratnadeep Chaudhary and camera person Manu Nair, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
Well, we'll keep a close watch on those developments. The government, meanwhile, is now allowing walk-in registration for the 18 to 44 age group. The government has said that people in the 18 to 44 age group who are without access to internet or smartphones can now walk in for help to register on the CoWIN digital platform and get appointments on the same day for at least a few beneficiaries. However, the state has left the implementation of this decision to different states and union territories. The decision, the centre says, will be based on a local context. Now, Prime Minister Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah were part of a meeting last evening of the BJP and the RSS to discuss the impact of the COVID-19 crisis on the image of the party and its fallout, possible fallout, on the Uttar Pradesh election next year.
A pre-election perception crisis seems to have gripped the BJP and the extended Sangh Parivar. In a late-night meeting on Sunday attended by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Home Minister Amit Shah, BJP President JP Nadda, RSS Sahasar Karyavar Dattatreya Hosbole and some functionaries of RSS in Uttar Pradesh, the poll-bound state, concerns over the party's image and performance was obvious. As the crisis was spiralling, the top party leadership was campaigning in Bengal, cutting short only when deaths started hitting new record highs almost daily. Over 4,000 people on an average are dying as per official data, and daily cases are still way above the 2 lakh mark. Sources have told NDTV that party's image and perception were discussed. The discussion of COVID and UP-related challenges took place. Important government and organization-related decisions are likely. This meet took place moments after JP Nadda wrote a letter to the BJP state governments where he had just one message: make the party visible. Nadda also asked party workers to avoid the 7th anniversary celebrations of the Modi government. These developments come as over the past 1.5 months, 4 BJP MPs have written a letter to the UP Chief Minister complaining about COVID-related shortage. This at a time when Chief Minister Adityanath claimed that there was no shortage, even threatening action against those who alluded to one. The opposition looks at this as a perfect opportunity to take potshots, accusing the party of still worrying about political perception rather than COVID handling. The real electoral test and a referendum on the centre and the state government's performance in handling COVID will be in February 2022, when the critical Uttar Pradesh elections will be held. The RSS's involvement, though, in the electoral fortunes of the BJP, a clear indication, though, that all may not be well in the most populous state of the country for the ruling party. Bureau Report, NDTV.
And breaking news that is just coming in, the Delhi police is currently conducting searches at the Twitter office both in Delhi and Gurugram. The police action comes after the government, remember, hit out at Twitter after Twitter tagged BJP's Sambit Patra's tweet as manipulated media. Neeta Sharma joins us with the very latest. Neeta, what more can you tell us about these searches?
Rishika, Delhi police had earlier given notices to Twitter asking them to, clarify certain issues on this toolkit issue, which they claim that they have not yet replied to, and that is why these searches are being conducted both in Ladusarai area and also in Gurugram area. As far as the official version is concerned, Delhi police had earlier put out their version, saying that they are also inquiring into a complaint in which clarification has been sought from Twitter. However, Delhi police has still not identified who is the complainant in this case and what is the complaint, what is the exact nature of the complaint. However, they said that the classification of tweet by Shri Sambit Patra as manipulative by Twitter, that is being, investigated. It appears that Twitter has some information which is not known to us, on the basis of which they have classified it as a manipulative tweet. So they want to find out what information does the Twitter have, and that is why these searches are now being conducted both in Gurugram and Ladusarai area.
All right, very interesting, Neeta, though, that the Delhi police at the moment is not talking about the nature of the complaint or who the complainant is at this moment, but big development that taking place. Offices of Twitter India being searched both in Delhi and Gurugram. We'll keep a close watch on those developments. Meanwhile, shifting focus to the other big story we're tracking this evening, sources say that the government has issued a notice to social media giants Facebook, Twitter and Instagram over compliance to the new media ethics code. Akhilesh joins us with the very latest. Akhilesh, social media companies have been put under a 48-hour deadline to adhere to these new rules?
Well, the deadline was fixed in 25th February 2021 when the new ethics code was notified in the Gazette of India. And by that time, they were given 3 months' time to comply with the new ethics code. But so far, only one company, which is the coup, has complied with that ethics code. None other company like Facebook, Instagram or Twitter have complied with those ethics code. They are saying that, they are seeking guidance from the headquarters in the USA. Some are saying that they need more time, so the deadline should be extended from 3 months to 6 months. So these are the excuses given by the social media companies. The government says that none of them have set up offices in India or they have appointed officers for compliance. They have not sent any compliance report to the government of India, which is required under the new ethics code, and also they have not done anything to monitor the harmful content on their platforms. So these are the problems with the social media companies. Of course, they have 2 more days to comply with the new ethics code, which comes into effect from 26th of May 2021. And if they don't comply, then they will lose their protection as an intermediary under the IT Act Article 79. And if they lose that protection, they will be liable for criminal prosecution under the Indian Constitution and under Indian laws. So that is a big point which the government sources are pointing out right now. They are saying that these companies must comply in the next 2 days with the new media ethics code.
All right, we'll keep a close watch on those developments. Remains to be seen what really happens in the next 48 hours. That deadline, remember, expires on the 26th of May. Thanks, Akhilesh, for joining us with the latest. Now, let's get you up to speed with some of the other top stories we're tracking from around the country. Nearly 100 Buddhist monks have tested positive for COVID in Sikkim despite a complete lockdown in the state since the 16th of May. The state government is closely monitoring the Buddhist monastery. 37 Buddhist monks tested positive from the Dharma Chakra Center in the Rumtek monastery, the World Heritage Site 30 kilometers away from Gangtok. The Gongjong monastery in Sikkim has been declared a containment zone after 61 more monks tested positive and the head monk died due to COVID. A couple tied the knot on board a chartered flight from Madurai. The relatives' guests were all on the same flight. The mid-air wedding ceremony flouted all COVID-19 rules. Airport authority officials say they were unaware of the mid-air marriage ceremony. The DGCA has ordered a probe. The entire crew, meanwhile, has been suspended pending investigation. As Karnataka witnesses a surge in COVID-19 cases and deaths, hundreds of people violated COVID restrictions to attend a funeral of a horse belonging to a local religious organization in Karnataka's Belagavi district on Sunday. The large gathering has forced the district officials to temporarily seal the village and carry out tests to check for new cases. The police has also filed a case in this incident. Visuals showed people walking shoulder to shoulder to participate in the funeral of the horse, many without masks. The cyclonic storm Yas is set to intensify into a severe cyclonic storm during the next 12 hours and then into a very severe cyclonic storm during the subsequent 24 hours. It would reach the northwest Bay of Bengal near Odisha and West Bengal coast on the 26th of May early in the morning. It's very likely to cross north Odisha, West Bengal coast between Paradip and Sagar Island during the 26th of May.
Cyclonic storm by 24th May.
Somewhere between Sagar Islands in Bengal and Paradip in Odisha, most likely at Balasore. That's where Cyclone Yas is expected to make landfall around noon on Wednesday. Wind speeds at landfall 155 to 165, gusting at 185 kilometers per hour.
सबसे पहले लोगों को सुरक्षित स्थान में ले जाने के लिए जो साइक्लोन शेल्टर्स में सब अरेंजमेंट होना चाहिए वो सब अरेंजमेंट कंप्लीट है। अलावा उसके क्योंकि कोविड का समय है, हर साइक्लोन शेल्टर में कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर और कोविड के हिसाब से जिस तरह की मेडिकल फैसिलिटीज, बेसिक मिनिमम फैसिलिटीज होना चाहिए उसका भी सारा इंतजाम कर लिया गया है। विद इन द स्टेट वी हैव मेड एडिक्वेट प्रोविजन फॉर बैकअप सिलेंडर्स and also buffer stock.
In Kolkata, Mamata Banerjee virtually met Home Minister Amit Shah along with her Odisha and Andhra counterparts, who she said were being given more money as disaster management advance than Bengal.
And Bengal they said 400 something crores. Then I told Amit Shah ji that why this discrimination? Mr. Home Minister said, ममता जी हम बाद में बात करेंगे, ये साइंटिफिक व्यू से होता है, साइंस से होता है। इसका बारे में मैंने यार कुछ नहीं बोला कि मेरे को पॉलिटिकल साइंस का बारे में थोड़ा ज्ञान है, लेकिन ये साइंस का बारे में तो नॉलेज कम है।
Around 10 lakh people are being evacuated from the East Midnapur district in Bengal as well as the low-lying Sundarbans areas. Kolkata, which bore the brunt of Cyclone Amphan last year, may this time have a lucky escape.
Kolkata narrow escape definitely, but our coastal districts of Purba Midnapur and South Chowbish Pargana will be affected.
The bandobast is falling in place, with NDRF, the military and the Coast Guard on full alert, not just to handle Cyclone Yas, but also its aftermath. In Kolkata, with Anirudh Tripathi, Monideepa Banerjee, NDTV.
Now, farmers in Haryana's Hisar are protesting the registration of an FIR against more than 300 farmers for clashing with the police earlier this month. The protest comes at a time when the Sayukt Kisan Morcha has given a call to intensify the farmer agitation as it completes 6 months on May the 26th. Meanwhile, Farmer Union leader Rakesh Tikait has said that they are ready to continue the farmer protest till 2024, the year of the next general election.
और क्या मंदा होगा आंदोलन? हमने तो भाई तैयारी कर दी। जून 2024 तक काम प्लान बना कर चल रहे हैं। हम कच्चा प्लान नहीं अब। हाँ, हम तो आगे 22, 23 और 24 3 साल का प्लान बनाकर अभी से चलेंगे।
All right, and we leave you tonight with a story of hope. One of the youngest COVID survivors, a baby born just 1,000 grams, infected with COVID-19, but now discharged from the hospital and home with her parents.
For Rahul and Bala Monica, their 6-week-old baby girl is a miracle. She was born preterm in the 28th week, weighing just 1,000 grams, when her mom was still on ventilator battling COVID. In the 2nd week of birth, the baby tested COVID positive and had to be put in the NICU on ventilator, where nurses played foster mother. Now the baby has recovered, is home, and her parents are thrilled.
Actually, we are very happy right now because of our baby is recovered very good, and Dr. Aparna Madam has given a good support to us virtually, as well as when we are not able to attend to the baby physically, she has called us virtually and shown a baby to the mother and reduced the gap between both of them. Has given a good support to my wife at the time.
At Hyderabad's Krishna Institute of Medical Sciences, 40 COVID positive women have delivered babies. None of the babies tested positive, which means there was no intrauterine transmission. 2 babies tested positive 2 weeks after birth, Doctors say only 15 to 20% of COVID-positive babies develop symptoms, and there was negligible mortality.
It was very heartening when the baby started showing recovery, and of course we waited till the PCR came back negative, after which the baby was taken to the regular NICU. We had to wait for another maybe 3 weeks more for the baby to reach an optimal weight and to reach a status where the baby could maintain temperature, maintain the breathing status without any additional medical help.
Doctors advise that this may not be a safe or wise time to plan a pregnancy. But the good news is that pregnant mothers and also lactating mothers are being told that it is safe for them to be vaccinated. In Hyderabad with camera person Nagaraju, Uma Sudhir, NDTV.